Well, hello, stranger. We're back. We're back.
Like the plague.
That's like herpes.
We're
It's
back
not a
like
good
Corona.
start. That's right. It's our seventh wave.
Oh my God.
It's the doucheless vegan.
I know. We've
Michael
missed
Stewart
everyone.
Webb and Carla Collins. Yes, we've missed you. We're sorry. Michael's too much of a baller and a player.
Oh my God. Well, you've been busy too, dominating the comedy world and
Yes, against its will. Yeah, so we apologize. We're going to try and get this more on a regular basis again. Even though I'm heading back to LA, we will do this remotely.
yes, ma'am.
We'll have phone sex. I'll call you. What are you
Fantastic.
wearing? What are you eating? Hi.
Maybe we can because before you arrived in Canada, we had regular cocktail dates, virtual cocktail dates. So
Yes, we'll just do this via Zoom.
yeah,
You'll record it.
Yeah, well, we have all the mod cons here in this studio, including vMix, which is kind of clutch. So
Have we learned how to use vMix though?
Well, for the most part, I mean, we just have to master remoting in video guests,
Yes.
which we will do, so that maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll have our virtual cocktails and talk DV and capture it for everyone's viewing and listening pleasure.
Yes, so we will keep this going, and apologies, but it was the summer and a lot of stuff was happening, so
Oh, sure, and people are
tad
busy
sporadic.
and
So and I apologize right now. Obviously, I'm getting all my glam on before I head back to LA. I've had my eyebrows touched up. They are aggressive. They are actually leaving my face and kissing the camera. So I just want you to know, and I have the little so.
you can't see anything.
All right. I never know. I just know that these cameras they're like fun house mirrors
Oh my
for
gosh.
us. So I like to say that just even for my own edification, that I want you to know that I'm aware that my eyebrows could be claimed as a dependent come tax time.
Maybe they should be.
Exactly. So we've got lots of vegan news for you. Again, this is for vegans, non-vegans, everything in between. And also I'm coming up to my 1-year anniversary.
Of being a full-on hardcore vegan.
I know.
I'm so impressed with you.
So, and oddly enough, in the last week, I was asked by so many people to email them sort of a day in the life with us and what I've been eating, what I've been doing, which tells me that the very toit pink dress I wore for the comedy show, which basically showed my pancreas. I mean, a beautiful Alice and Olivia dress. It was a turtleneck, but it really, you could see it if I had a quarter in my pocket.
It certainly left nothing to the imagination.
It didn't. It was a tad on the tight side, and people are like, "Tell me your diet."
You look spectacular, and you know what? That's why everyone's reaching out to you and asking you, for some life hacks and what you're doing.
Well,
because everyone wants to look like Carla Collins.
Like 4 to 5 drag queens do, but that's
I want to
it.
look like
That's
Carla
it.
Collins.
No, but it's really funny because for months people have teased me like, well, Michael's not around, you're going to cheat, right? Like when you get back to LA, you'll have a
piece of
cheeseburger. Like it's some seductive, you want it, Carla. And I said, okay, first of all, he's not Charles Manson. I'm not in a cult where you don't give a shit if I...
No
vegan or
judgment.
not. So, but for me, why would I?
Well, and I think that, this year has been a bit of an experiment for you. And, you've kind of come to realize that this is the way to go, right? I mean, your skin has never looked better. Your hair and nails look amazing.
It's just, again, as you know, I'm deep as a lunch tray and vanity trumps a lot of things. But also, we do have some stuff to tell you that we wouldn't normally. I mean, I wasn't someone who got vaccinated and posted on Facebook or Insta.
Well, because we're not those kinds of people.
Okay, what? But, and I don't like talking about girly things, but, shrunken fibroid, great skin, everywhere. It just helps with everything, whether you're talking cellulite, ladies, or bags under your eyes, because you don't have that. What is that? You're not having inflammation, right? Like sort of the bloaty reaction.
Yes, absolutely.
A flat tummy, as you said, good hair and skin, hormonally balanced, which is important during these COVID times because everybody's damn lost their minds.
They certainly have.
So notwithstanding, great for the environment, great for animals. So for me, I wouldn't go back. And you and I had 0 side effects, either vaccine.
0. We got our shots, and we just went back to our regular lives with no impediment whatsoever.
No, but you did farm work and I worked out.
Yeah, Exactly. We got back from...
I did a weight class the next day.
Yes.
I mean, I just thought I felt my arm.
Well, sure. Like you would with any
I'm
shot.
not a robot, but yeah, but it was, and so whether or not that has to do with being a vegan, but I can tell you that they now have, if you want to Google some of Dr. Neil Barnard's latest, they've been doing so many studies now that because COVID's been around, again, lasting longer than one of my marriages. So people who are vegans and either didn't get COVID or when they got COVID, the symptoms were hella mild.
Yeah.
There are now some, hardcore reports and studies if you want to look into that. Just like, and we were telling a friend who's having a hard time the other day at lunch, there's now irrefutable evidence that it, for the first time, and I don't think there's been anything in the history of mankind, helps with the menopause big time. So you have nothing to lose. And as we were telling our friend who is a recent vegan, you got to give it a few months though. Cause the first months are a bit like adolescence. I went through an awkward stage myself where I broke out for 2 months.
And that's to be expected too, right? Your body needs to acclimate. You need to detox.
Yeah,
and our friend, she and to her credit, I mean, she's looking great. I mean, she's lost 12 pounds.
12 pounds, yeah. That's
in the span of 4, it's been 6 weeks for her now.
Yes.
But I think it's important to note that, anyone who's listening who wants to give this a whirl, you got to give it more than 4 to 6 weeks, right? I mean, it's a process. Your body does need to acclimate. You do need to detox. So my recommendation would be just to hang in there for a minimum of 8 weeks. And I think that's when you're really going to start noticing a significant difference.
Maybe even 3 months. Now, the experts, because we are not doctors, do say you can reap benefits within 21 to 28 days.
Yep.
But and remember, everybody's different. So your body's going to acclimate in different ways.
Absolutely.
Whether it responds or not. And again, this may not be for you. I'm just saying I'm not going to go back because of all the benefits I've reaped, which I think I can look back, but now that it's been a year, I've been a really good case study, and you
really have. I've seen a marked difference. And we were having a conversation a short while ago, and you've kind of always had a bit of a nervous tummy too, and that's kind of disappeared as well.
Yeah, for the most part, it's really rare that I do not get an upset stomach. I think it just and again, sort of I guess makes sense, and so there's the benefits. Because I know a friend of ours, friend of the show, Donna Roberts.
Yes, Donna. Shout out to Donna Roberts.
Dr. Tiara, who said, honey, I'm going to try and get more and more plant-based as much as possible. She just came back from a climate summit. She was on a Zoom with Bernie Sanders, and she said, we need to go vegan because for the environment. And the environment, she's always been a tireless activist to save the earth. I know you and I, a big reason we do it are for the animals, but I couldn't help but put on her page. Also, if you want the best hair, skin, body of your life.
Well, and just to, overall, general
wellness
health and well-being, right?
And we need that right now because, good God, it's like the Hunger Games still.
Of course, spiritually and physically. I mean, if you can make a very small change, and it really is a very small change, and feel 100 times better about life in general, not only how you navigate through the universe, but from an ethical standpoint. But if you can feel better, why the fuck wouldn't you want to?
Well, I just feel like that I found the secret of life a bit with this. I'm a bit of a seeker. You should hear what I listen to when I'm going to sleep. And you always want, not so much even a shortcut, but we're all looking for a magic bullet, and I think this is the closest thing.
I think it's the closest thing we can get, and probably the closest thing we can get to the fountain of youth too.
I'm counting on that.
Well, darling, we're reversing now. We're going backwards.
That's right. We're Benjamin Buttoning.
We are.
But and also, if maybe this will blow your skirt up.
Yes.
Very interesting, and we haven't done a show for a bit, but I've been researching just in case we had some time. And now 3 billionaires, we're talking Richard Branson, Jim Mellon, and Bill Gates. Of course, we've both been implanted with Bill Gates semen, so we feel the need to give a shout out to our overlord.
Does that mean I can be one of his dependents?
So all of them, they have different predictions. but they're all basically on the same page. And again, so even financially, why do you think we're doing this whole doucheless vegan thing and doing cookbooks in our own line of vegan food? Because it just keeps doubling. Like every year, it doubles in the billions for this industry. And all three of these billionaires, who a lot of them made the money off stocks, are saying that Jim Mellon predicts that we will be dairy-free, a dairy-free society, no more dairy farming within 10 years. Branson says we will be meatless in 30. And Bill Gates is saying that all of the wealthy nations really should be meat-free within the next decade or two as well. So when you see that these fellas who are,
they've always
futurists, if you will.
For sure. And, they've always, been on the cusp of innovation, right? This is why they're billionaires.
Exactly. That's why they keep going to space, because they're like, hey, buy Earth. But I'm like, why don't we stick around and fix Earth with your billions? But so a lot of them are, because I keep reading how, and then you see it with like Chipotle is adding more and more vegan options. Like you see it through all the fast food chains. We always go to A-Dubs because they have our Beyond Meat Burger, and we love that. And we noticed a sign, at least here in Canada, saying they're offering nuggets.
Yeah, Beyond Meat nuggets.
Right, so they're
we'll give those a whirl.
Expanding. Pizza Hut has introduced Beyond Meat. The list goes on. So we'll tell you about fun stuff later. Notice I'm getting the vegan stuff because there's always that guy saying, talk about vegan stuff, and we're like, no, we're going to gossip for an hour, tell you weird stuff instead. So our buddy Steve Mallon, who's wonderful with Rush Limo.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to him. He is such an amazing human being. He treated us so right. He's
the loveliest.
He really is.
People.
The purest of heart, honestly. Yeah. So he owns Rush Limousine out of Barrie, and he was our driver for your shows last week down at Revival Club, which was an amazing show.
We'll get into that later.
We will. But Steve always takes such amazing care of us, and he surprised us with some Freshie meals.
Yeah, and we didn't know it was going to be from Freshie. He said, I'm bringing you guys all vegan stuff. And of course, it was like enough for us.
To feed an army.
Small European country. And you said, who are you feeding? Because, of course, I can't eat before shows, but I'll tell you all the way back home and for the next 2 days.
Oh, we were scarfing it down. It was so good.
It was all from Freshie with the 2 eyes, which is a Canadian company. And, of course, I immediately looked to see if they were in L.A. because I wanted... We had wraps, we had delicious tacos, we had mushroom little wraps, we had salads, and something that I know, one of those things I always joke that white women, I'm going to try kombucha. One of my new jokes, but no one cares, Karen. Listen, I know how good it is for us. But the only thing I like that's fermented are pickles, like a prego woman. I really do. Barking those pickles back like I'm having triplets. But so you want to have something that's fermented. There's like kefir, which I believe is not vegan, but sauerkraut, blah, all those things. Kombucha. So they have these great kombucha drinks that I first like. That's the only time I've liked it. Yeah. It was like sparkling water, raspberry sparkling water with kombucha. Anyway, everything was fantastic. There was a lot of variety. So again, if you're looking Freshie, if you're vegetarian or vegan, great. So you can see again, it's just people are looking ahead. I think when you're talking, if it's fiscal stuff that really gets you going, that's what everyone's predicting. So we're going towards that for the health of the planet, for the health of humans.
Yeah, and the ethics of the whole thing, right?
Exactly, and the fact that we have 72,000 animals.
Well, we do.
Almost all in this room. They're all loving.
Oh, they'll be crawling all over us before the end of the show, for sure.
Well, we've tried to have a couple of important Zoom meetings where almost every animal, I'm surprised a horse didn't walk in.
Give it time.
Oh, my gosh.
Diego will be knocking at the door.
Exactly.
Photo bombing our next Zoom meeting.
And speaking of like something that finally was yummy with the kombucha, Michael,
yes,
the other day made this fantastic cous-cous.
Oh, cous-cous? Yeah, cous-cous.
Your cous-cous.
And quinoa salad.
Wow, it was so good.
Yeah, it was yummy. We just wanted to dive right in.
And like quinoa, because I joke and call my imaginary twins kale and quinoa. Not usually my favorite. And I don't know, you made it with some vegetable broth. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so I cooked the the couscous, and let's quinoa rather. No, it's the couscous. Let's be real. Like couscous is a pasta.
Right.
There's no real flavor. It takes on whatever it is you're cooking it with. And, couscous is an ancient grain. And there's not a hell of a lot of flavor in that either.
Quinoa.
Yeah, quinoa, really good for you, but it really doesn't have a great deal of flavor. So the couscous I cooked in vegetable broth. Low sodium vegetable broth,
Right.
and then the couscous I just cooked in regular water, but I dressed both individually, so with the couscous I added all kinds of fresh herbs. We threw basil in there. We threw fresh parsley in there out of our garden. I dressed it with some balsamic vinegar and lemon juice for that acidity.
Yeah, delicious.
And then I happenstanced upon this. I should have actually brought the package because I just, in the spice aisle, I happenstanced upon this brand of seasoning I'd never seen before. And so I just picked up this smashed potato seasoning, and I thought, well, this could be good because we're cooking starches, right? So I threw that on it, and it was just elevated everything to another level. Yeah, we'll mention it in the socials. But in addition to that, just fresh tomatoes and cucumbers, which we've got coming out of our wazoo, and we're trying to invent all kinds of new ways to use up these cucumbers.
And guys, like the cucumbers, they're the size of Priuses.
They really are. They're ginormous.
The size of Brad from Sex Life on Netflix.
Yes, we're going to call our cukes Brads from now on.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're giving them like basically to just strangers.
We pass on the street. It's a cucumber.
Like so ridiculous.
But what a difference harvesting vegetables out of your own backyard. There's so much more flavorful. There's no pesticides. There's no herbicides.
Oh, I know. So, and you know what you're eating, and I think a lot of people are moving towards that too.
I think so too.
The organic, if you can, and so then you know what's in them.
Exactly.
We've had chives. We've had our own jalapenos.
Oh yeah, the jalapenos out of our garden are phenomenal. And
I picked some yesterday.
They're so good. I hate store-bought tomatoes. I find them mealy, flavorless. I've always got tomatoes in my garden. When we're able to. And so with everyone working from home more, we seem to be going to the cat shit or something.
I was going to say, I need to say something right now.
Completely distracted right now.
There is some farting going on, and I don't know if it's a dog because two of them are at my feet, or if a cat. I feel like now.
Oh my God, I'm completely losing my train of thought.
I was like, I see Michael looking over at me, and it is not me.
My eyes are watering. I'm telling you.
It is distracting kids. I won't lie to you. You were looking at it. I was like, I feel the need to say it is not me.
What is that? Holy
Even
Jesus.
though the vegan diet does make you a little farty, but
it's enough to gag a maggot. Holy smokes.
I feel like that's a kitty cat.
I think that's, yeah, it smells like kitty cat to me.
Yeah.
So a cat has just visited a litter box, and holy Jesus. It's distracting. I digress. Yeah, so with this new world that we're living in right now, more people are working from home. I think that's, as we all know, going to be a growing trend. Companies are realizing that it's more cost effective to have people work at home. They don't need these elaborate offices that are costing them a fortune.
It is going to be a hybrid. Like
absolutely.
We're saying this with whether we're talking about comedy or the office space. It's, I know some people are going back, like they've returned to work, but only 2 days a week, and they're still gonna. So yeah, we have time to have. And I mean, if you're in a New York apartment, you can have a little thing on your balcony.
Some of these vegetables grow phenomenally well in pots.
It's like a Great Dane. You can have a small place.
Exactly.
You're good with it. They thrive.
It's true. So, and here's a perfect opportunity, to have a little backyard garden and enjoy putzing in the garden, which is a great opportunity for some meditation. And
very zen.
It is very zen, toiling in the earth.
Johnny, my starter husband, Johnny, my first husband.
Whom we love.
We love Jonathan. He, that was his meditation. He loves gardening. Yeah.
I love being out in the garden myself, right? I mean, you're kind of communing with nature. It's mindless. You're being productive.
Well, you're also, which a lot of people are always recommending, you're in touch with the earth, literally.
Sure, which
right?
is really important.
It's very grounding, and you get your hands dirty in the soil, and so you're kind of doing it with Mother Nature.
And there's a phenomenal reward at the end. And here, right on time, Duke is going to interject himself into our show.
He's such a show pony.
He is a show pony.
Honestly,
we love him to bits, though.
We do. And he's doing well. So, I mean, all this to say, there are a lot of ways. And for example, my brother, who was always making fun of this and saying, when you leave Michael and you treat yourself to some cheese, think of my mug. Then I just out of the blue get a message from him on WhatsApp saying, "Can you and Michael, could you take me through your day?" And then he was like, "I wish my students were this thorough," because I, of course, sent him basically a Tom Brady-esque book because he does, and he said, "I'm not going to go totally vegan," but he's doing the 80-20 thing where he's moving towards more plant-based. Because, of course, sadly right now, well, not sadly, but probably prudently, New Zealand is in shutdown.
Lockdown, yeah.
So he's taking this opportunity while he's at home and teaching remotely to just, and again, I think people are really becoming aware of their health because they know this is going to be something we're fighting for a bit.
Yep.
He said, honestly, it was that picture of you.
Of me?
The picture of me.
That
we sent
I was going to say, yes.
He's like, the picture of you that I saw on socials.
On the stage.
Yeah. So,
shit, you look amazing.
So he was going to, and I'm the older sibling by almost 5 years. So again, even if you do that 80-20 where he's going more organic, going more plant-based, and just having good proteins and whole grains and more vegetables.
Yeah.
So I just gave him all the options because I was saying, well, here's what I do, but here are some of your options for breakfast. There's oatmeal. There's this. There's the egg. Now not everything's available to him in New Zealand. So again, wherever you're listening to us from, you have to keep in mind that, like, I'm hoping I find some stuff at TJ's, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods when I get back to Los Angeles. Shouldn't be a problem because there are a lot of vegan options typically there and vegan restaurants. But, the availability isn't the same around the world. And yay, Canada. Also, we found, this was like the white whale. We found great sour cream.
We did.
Or you did.
So from day one, we've been talking about, the only phenomenal substitute we haven't been able to find is sour cream, and how we've been kind of longing for all dressed potatoes and so on. And quite by chance, I was just at the grocery store, and another shout out to Loblaws, because I think they're doing a phenomenal job of introducing not only their own vegan product lines, but carrying more and more of other people's brands, right? So kudos to Galen. And his crew.
You're always giving Galen
I'm
a blowy.
always giving
you
Galen
want Galen
blowies.
to sponsor this show.
I do.
Working it like a $5 hooker.
I know, it's true. So kudos to them. And so it's Good Earth, and we've talked about Good Earth cheeses before. So they're from Greece, and they've got this clutch sour cream that
so good.
Is as close as I think anyone could possibly get to the real thing.
Yep. Yeah, it was delicious. We've had it on potatoes. We've you can put it on vegan pierogies.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for that, because a lot of people, and look, we stand-up comics make jokes like, who in their right mind would give up cheese? And I get it, because for me, dairy was the last thing to go.
Yeah.
Same with you.
Same with me, but there's amazing alternatives.
Try these alternatives because, again, you don't feel that you're not going to have those same reactions. And look, a lot of people, I always joke, are lactose intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant. I don't know what that means. Working on some new stuff. A lot of people have trouble with it. So it's great that there are these options.
And more options. And, I was having a conversation, as you know, and we'll talk about it in a bit, but spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks in the studio recording Graham's new album.
So fancy. Look at him. He's a cool cat now.
We'll talk about that in a bit. But our engineer, Darren Mcgill, who's honestly the shit.
He's a genius,
he's
isn't
he?
And
he's
like 12.
Genius. Yeah, he's 25 years old. It is ridiculous to watch this guy work. He's got an incredible ear, and watching him on the board doing cuts and edits it's insane. He's robotic. It's just
He's like an octopus
ridiculous.
on
Yeah,
steroids, just
ridiculous. So he's his girlfriend Avery, who is now one of our listeners. Welcome aboard, Avery.
Hi, Avery.
So Avery's a vegan, and they've been spending more time cooking for each other and experimenting, and during the course of this conversation in the studio with Darren, the last vestige is cheese, right? They have
same with Donna Roberts. Everybody's like,
yeah,
but honey, cheese.
I know. So they've been using Dea, which is god awful.
Yes, you've always been pretty outspoken.
It's just dreadful. So I had this conversation with them about some of these other phenomenal cheeses, like Emborg, which comes from France. And
what's that smoked stuff that we put on the burgers? It's just so good. The Applewood.
The Applewood stuff, yes. So that comes out of the UK. So I mentioned this product from the UK, and we've discovered Violife, which is also Greek, and what is it? Good Earth Island. That's also Greek. So there's some phenomenal alternatives, and there'll be more and more and more alternatives as people realize that this is the direction we're taking culturally.
Well, that's why I mentioned the billionaires, because they're investing in it.
Yes,
people are creating their own lines. So follow the money. Kids, so
exactly.
You know where we're headed.
Exactly.
And again, why not? I can just speak for myself. I just feel so
much better.
I've always been pretty health conscious, as you know, and fairly careful with my diet. And I've always been a little gym rat, but I can only speak to it. And so again, also a lot of people say, well, I can't do it because, I work out every day and it hasn't affected. You've seen me.
Oh, you do. You work out sometimes twice a day.
Yeah. So it hasn't, affected my weights or anything, what I can handle.
No.
I haven't found that at all.
No.
And I'd be very upfront about that.
And science has debunked that garbage too.
Well, again, that's the game changers.
Exactly.
Showed us that the gladiators were vegan. So,
They were. Yeah. So science, same
with soy. Science has also debunked that soy does not create breast cancer. In fact, they use it to fight it.
Exactly.
And that's what they're using to help women with their cycles, and everything else are like the soybeans.
Yeah.
Like edamames are just baby soybeans. But so again, do your own research. But it's just like during this crazy time, as my brother says, if you want to believe in a conspiracy theory, it's pretty easy to find on the net.
Yeah.
You can find what
you're looking for.
Exactly.
You look hard enough, you'll find whatever you need to support your own.
And a lot
systems.
of them say that a lot of doctors don't recommend the vegan diet because it's not going to benefit them, because then you won't need meds, which you and I don't take anything.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that too, right? I mean, there's a lot of big industry that does not want to support this lifestyle.
No, they want everybody still like the Americans.
They want to keep everyone
obese.
Sure, they want to keep everyone sick because being sick is big industry. And for yourself personally, we have an opportunity now, and a lot of illness we can reverse, right? We can reverse diabetes, we can reverse heart disease. Yes. We can cure cancers through diet.
Yep.
So we have an opportunity now to kind of be a willing participant in our own health.
Right.
And our own futures, and it's really as simple as just honoring yourself and the body that's carrying you around and it's supporting you. I mean, we need to in kind support it.
And honestly, as a newbie, fledgling, whatever, new to the club vegan, I can only tell people just try it for yourself. It's what I try to tell. And I don't know. I'm such an all or nothing person that I don't understand when people do things in little bits and increments. And I'm going toward, for me, as you know, if I'm going in, I'm about to tape a third comedy album in 1 year. Then I also hooked up with this guy who's more insane than me. So this has not been a good combination for that. We're like, all right, let's do it again. So I went all in because I said, I really want to see how this, if I'm going to, let's go big or go home.
Yeah.
So, and again, I would just say, try it. And if it's not for you, because everybody's body chemistry is different, then you can jump off. But I guess I'm one of those annoying newcomers that's like, I want to share this big secret. Shout it from the rooftops like Anchorman. So
Yeah. And again, I would just say stick with it. Like 2 weeks ain't enough. So
No.
stick with it.
Or anything really. It's okay. Just like, if you go to the gym for a month,
In order to
it'll
see
begin
results.
to be a habit. But remember, you want to do something so that your subconscious almost takes over.
Sure. Yeah.
Like for me, I'm trying to think. I'm sure at the beginning I was aware of it. Now it just doesn't occur to me.
Well, no, it's second nature. We've got tons.
And remember, your palate will change too. The healthier
food
you
is more
eat,
tasty.
the healthier you eat, also you will stop craving crap too.
Yeah, we don't crave anything.
No, and I mean not that
Except
listen,
sexy
we also
men
have
and
a lot
gin.
and gin and tonics. You've got a bunch of score bars, mister.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with treating
You gotta treat yourself,
right?
Yes. So I'm just saying, but people who are addicted to fast food, like anything that.
Well, I
we get
think you
addicted
lose
to,
all of that.
You do
Yeah,
lose
you
your
lose all
cravings
of that,
for it after
for sure.
a bit.
Yeah.
So just hang in.
Yeah.
And of course, there's probably some white knuckling times.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Particularly when in those moments when you're feeling a modicum of stress, right? But, let's talk about that too.
It's pretty good for stress.
Our days are ridiculous. From the minute we get up to the minute we go to bed, it's go, 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 plotting world domination. What's the next project? How do we get there? We're always stick handling a gazillion meetings.
And like everyone else, a lot of things that the world's throwing at us. Right?
Absolutely. There's that as
stress
well.
right now.
There's that as well. Always negotiating contracts. Like we're always on the go. The only time you and I ever unplug is at the end of the day, when we're catching each other up on the day's events and we're unwinding with our gin and tonic. And that's the only time we stop. And then sleep, of course, which we get very little of. But our energy levels are always high. We don't succumb to the same kind of
Burnout?
yeah, well, and we're not, I feel the same stress. We don't feel stress in the same way that others who maybe are not taking care of themselves as well as they should do. We still feel stress, but our bodies do not react to it as in the same way that they might have otherwise prior to embracing this lifestyle.
Well, it's a combination platter, right? Because as I gave a shout out to Lauren Peterson, who's one of the top yogis in the world, and God bless her, she's doing all these classes online, and I'm so grateful to everyone, Kirsten Rutherford, who continues to do QFit online for us who are either stuck at home or maybe not comfortable to go to a gym or what have you. And I've said, I'm sure she has prevented many of us from becoming serial killers. So, and everybody, as you said, there's gardening, there's things to do, animals, how much I de-stress. I just have at any given time, 4 or 5 kittens, Dr. Zira, and a chicken in my room. For me, that's calming. And because as I head towards leaving for LA, I'm like, oh my God, I've become so attached to all these animals, notwithstanding my gay fiance. So again, because even if you're vaxxed, you can still get COVID. Why not arm as much as humanly possible to be your healthiest, even take it on, or as different shutdowns happen. Look, my brother took this opportunity, as he said, he's not drinking. He's going to get as healthy as possible.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, it's just a little motivation to... So why not try it? And again, not preaching. I just can't tell people enough that I'm new to it and I'm going to stick with it.
You've noticed an appreciable difference in all aspects of your life.
Yes,
the way you handle stress, the way your body handles stress, your sleep patterns, energy levels, skin, nails. Like it's been marked and appreciable difference in your life.
Yeah, it really has. So for me, I want to share that again. I don't care if you do or not, but one of my jokes was, how to be vegan and still have friends. I made a joke right away at the last show saying, I've become vegan. Don't worry, I was already an a-hole. I get it. I get, the whole jokes that kind of come with it and the whole baggage. But that's all we can do is just tell you what a difference it's made.
100%, 100%. I mean, and the proof is in the pudding for a lot of people, right? And so it should be.
Yeah. Listen, the fact that I'm not wearing zit cream for the first time in my life. It's a big deal for someone who has breakouts.
Well, sure. And that's something that, it's
on your face.
Well, sure. Of course. That's, that's always, since childhood, something that, has always been kind of, and I hate the word, as do you, trigger.
Yeah.
And it's now something that you don't have to have to concern yourself with.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which also, well, again, when you have breakouts, when you have anything like that, I mean, our bodies are amazing. So they're telling us something's up.
Something's
Jake.
wrong.
Something's
Exactly.
wrong. So just like people are having difficulties with their hair, it's not just a vanity thing. It's also, oh dear,
Yeah.
I'm lacking certain nutrients, or there's stress, or any number of things. It always gives us signals.
Of course. We just need to listen.
Feel happy about that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if I could there's a million mosquito bites because I'm delicious. But other than that.
Well, the cure for that is a snap freeze, which will be coming.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Okay.
we're heading into the fall, so they'll be
Marked
going
improvements to the
away.
funny farm, but
Yeah,
yes,
they'll be going
exactly.
away soon enough.
I
I'd rather
know.
have the mosquitoes.
I know you would. I'm still on the fence about that. Don't like the mosquitoes. So,
Hey, can we talk
Yes.
just one sec about our nachos?
yes, we do need to talk about that too, because at times when Michael makes something, and I become a cook too, I always say, I'm not the total package now, or I have one. Roll the dice, boys. There'll be certain things you make where I'm like, this is the top 5. This got to go into the book. And one was nachos on the barbecue.
Oh my God, yeah, it was kind of a game changer. So, just regular nachos. I mean, and we kind of dig they're low end, but we like them because we love salty stuff. The Tostitos
Tostitos are
restaurant
awesome.
style, they're
Yes.
great. And we've tried a lot of the, smaller brands.
And then you got some that didn't have salt, and I'm like, what is this bullshit?
Yeah, they didn't have anything. They didn't have any flavor.
Lord.
So we used the Tostitos, and we just assembled everything as you normally would, and slammed them on a perforated tray, which you can get at Canadian Tire in the seasonal section.
But did you not saute some onions? And
Yeah, we
mushrooms with
did.
Beyond Meat first?
We did. Yeah. So on our nachos, we had sautéed the ground beef, the Beyond Beef ground beef with some onions and jalapenos and taco seasoning and all that kind of fun stuff. And so when it came time to assembly, we just laid out the chips. Order is important when you're assembling nachos, because if you put
Very Tetris. Go. Give us the IKEA order then.
so your layer of nachos, a thin layer, because you kind of, you want everything to get melty and gooey. Layer of cheese on top of that to kind of act as an insulator between that and the...
Did you use the VO Life
I used the
cheddar?
VO Life, yeah, which seems to melt really well.
It does.
And then, you kind of sprinkle your toppings on top of that and more layers of cheese and so on. But you kind of want that layer of cheese between your toppings and the nachos to sort of act as an insulator and maybe help them stay
Like a
crispy.
7-layer dip or something.
Yeah. She just, soggy nachos, not tasty. So
No, it doesn't really keep for the next day. You can't.
no,
throw 'em
they
in the
really
micro or
don't.
something,
No. So it's kind of a one meal dish.
And then you can at the end put on, of course, right out of the fridge, the Earth Island sour cream.
Which was amazing with these
Guacamole
nachos,
and
guacamole.
salsa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can even have those on the side if you want to dip your nachos in. But so we wanted to talk about that as well, because they get that gorgeous kind of smoky flavor from the barbecue, and it's just it's a wonderful little snack.
Everything on the barbecue. You've been putting corn, and you just like my mom when she used to do corn on the barbecue would wrap it up in aluminum foil, and she'd do all kinds of zhuzhing to it. And I remember the first time I was here and I saw you just put the corn right on the barbecue, and I thought, well, what's this going to be like? And it's delicious is the answer.
It is
You just
good.
Tell us these oils that we've been finding.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of flavored oils out there. Again, Galen has
Oh my God.
he's gonna
Not
sponsor
gonna date
this.
you.
I'm not interested in dating Galen Western. I've seen him. But I credit where credit's due, and besides that, I want him to sponsor our show. But so PC has all of these amazing products, including some phenomenal flavored oils.
And I make you buy all these because I went nuts for them. I
Oh,
put them on my
they're-
bean salads.
They're
I put
amazing.
them on everything.
Yeah, they're amazing. And, as we've established in many episodes before, you and I have porcelain mouths, so we always go with the, with the chili oil. And so I drizzle the the chili oil over these cobs of corn. You can use anything. There's all kinds of wonderful flavored oils out there.
Right.
I mean, there's basil oil, which is easy to make yourself if you are so inclined. If you've got leftover basil in your garden before it all dies over the winter, gather it all up and stick it in a saucepan. I used to make my own basil oil. Stick it in a saucepan with your favorite.
Of course you did.
Extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, well. And you can put your own basil oil away. If you've got leftover hot peppers out of your garden, I used to make my own hot pepper relish, which is phenomenal.
You're not a relish guy, but I love relish.
Yeah, I don't like cucumber relish. I don't. It's too sweet for me. But
I dig it.
I know you dig it. So, we've always got relish in the house, which is fine. My ex used to like relish too. So
yeah, I mean, this is all
kinds of stuff you can do. But, we just drizzle the corn with your favorite flavored oil and just let it slowly roast. You almost kind of want some of it blackened a little bit.
Well, because that was a happy accident. We're like, it's Cajun corn now.
But so
we
good.
forgot about it, but it was still delicious.
It was so good. So good. You eat your corn off the cob. I hate getting shit stuck in my teeth, so I always cut my kernels off the cob and
I grab a
munch it
that
floss.
Yeah, I do. I think it's also a childhood thing. I love corn on the cob. It's a comfort food. It's,
of course, yeah. I mean, it's
seasonal
nostalgic.
Food.
Yeah,
like it has memories of like a county fair or whatever.
Yeah, and now, by the way, it's a phenomenal time of year because sweet corn is being harvested now. Go support your local farmers. Go to the local markets.
Your
buy
neighbors
sweet corn.
have corn right now.
My neighbors, yes, they've got to stand out front of their farm with sweet corn. But there's all kinds of stands popping up now with fresh sweet corn. Go get it. And the reason you want it out of the field wherever possible is that the longer corn sits, the starchier it becomes. Of course, right?
Because it's not, I mean, let's look, in a lot of people's diets, they can't even have corn. It's, again, this isn't a superfood by any means. It's just delicious.
It's just delish, right? I mean, it's kind of nostalgic. I can't even talk. Nostalgic takes us back to our childhood.
It does.
And who doesn't want to do that right now,
And, there's a place in Malibu that had great loaded corn, and you can do that too, where they'd put the Parmesan, but we've got a great Parmesan substitute and hot chilies and all kinds of things.
Oh, so, that would be amazing.
Ridiculous.
That would be amazing.
Treat. I mean, that's not a date food because you basically look like Sam. You're like, there's no sexy way to eat corn on the cob. Like,
oh my God.
So I'm just saying, but if you're not trying to impress anyone, you can go for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have it. I think it's called loaded corn on the cob or something like that. So that's easy enough to make too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Everything we're doing is super easy to make at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about our stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Before this is over. So first of all, congratulations, because I know you and your country music artist, Graham Trude, have been really killing it. So fill us in on that, darling.
So Graham's album is coming out end of October, early November. Just in time for Juno nomination.
That's right.
Having the best time of my life working on this. Like Graham, I mean, I love him, but aside from being his manager, I love him as a human being. He's a wonderful man, kind, generous, thoughtful. He is also an incredible artist. He is a brilliant songwriter. He can play guitar like nobody's business. And so we've been spending a lot of time in the studio working with the best musicians this country has to offer. Recording at Union Sound downtown Toronto.
Simone Denny.
Our first track in the studio was Home Crowd, a song called Home Crowd, and Simone Denny is on this track, and it's gonna blow your socks off.
Her voice is incredible. She takes us to church.
Oh, she does. Like I can't wait for us to release this song, because it really is going to blow the doors off. My My Old Town is the next release, which we're releasing in September. Really excited about that too. We've already released PTSD. Album's coming out end of October, early November. Graham's album release party is at Revival Club, downtown Toronto. Amazing club, owned by Joe Saturnino, who's an amazing human being. So Graham's release party is December 4th, having the best time of our lives. Amazing musicians on this. Darren Mcgill, whom I've already mentioned. He's our engineer extraordinaire and working on mixes for us. We've had Sekou Lumumba on drums on this album. Sekou is currently touring with Big Rec. Amazing human being, crazy drummer, such an artist. Ben Healy, who is touring with the Rec Laws, amazing guitarist, super kind, generous, sweet human being, lovely guy. Devin Henderson, who's on bass. Really, honestly, we've got the best musicians around.
And people might not know that you're a musician yourself, and this is really your first love. So for you, it's just been you're like a kid again. It's just wonderful to see you.
Yeah.
You love working in entertainment. You love working in music. It's your passion. So it's just lovely to see you light up
Thank you.
The golden nugget in Vegas every time you get to go to studio.
Yeah, I'm having such a great time, honestly. I really am. Jason McCoy co-wrote one of the songs on this album. Honest to God, it's been a bit of a homecoming, honestly. It really has. And it's energized me, and, I just having a blast.
You really are. And this stuff is, listen, I'm not a country music aficionado. In fact, it's not my thing whatsoever, but I do love these songs because, great artistry is great artistry. And
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, Graham can write a good song. There was one I was like, I'd like to use that song to bang too. There was a sexy one. I get to hear some of these before, when they're just in their first stages.
Exactly. Yep.
And you were saying, we got to put this on the album for the chicks. I'm like, especially this chick. Want to use it to Mac too.
Oh my God, it's true.
And Michael Stewart Webb turns out is a hell of a producer because you produced my comedy shows last week at Revival. We did 2 back-to-back, a double header.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
That was a crazy day.
It was, yeah. I mean, the week leading up to the shows was pretty
crazy
intense.
Stressful. We had a lot of stuff going on.
But honest to God, hon, I had the best time, and I have to thank you for entrusting these shows to me. I really had the best time helping you put these things together.
Well, whatever
so
you do, you go all in. You're just your attention to detail, and we learned some stuff. I mean, again, for a lot of people, it's the first time they were out in 18 months, and they're having been a lot of live shows. So we had wonderful comedians, Fiona O'Brien, who's also just an extraordinary.
I adore her.
She's a great comedian. I love her. She's really one to watch. I had my other little brother, Paul Schmidt, who killed it, which was great.
His set was terrific.
He really did well. And I'm like, listen, now I'm going to have to pay you. Special comedian. Jesse Reynolds
Jesse was great. Jesse came in from Ottawa.
He did, and killed it. Ben Miner hosted The Late Show. Ben Miner from Sirius XM and Comic Stripped. He was terrific. Everybody loved him.
Yeah, he's such a mensch.
Jean Paul, who I've always wanted to work with, and people are like, oh my goodness, Jean Paul's on there. And I said, oh, I know. I'm not fooling around with these shows. So wonderful nights, and
Brock McGillis made his debut.
Yes, Brock. So, Brock, I coached a little bit, not hockey. He was the first professional hockey player to come out.
You coaching him in hockey.
Well, again, I had a mullet when I was a baby. I was business in the front and potty in the back. I do. Every time I see that baby picture, I'm like, what are my parents thinking? Well, I am from the Sioux. So, yes, I will. We always make that differentiation. I did not coach him in hockey. Just didn't comedy, so we had him. Souffle came in from France.
Yes. Oh my God! And what people were not expecting to see Souffle.
And I love the fact that people thought Souffle was a whole other being. Like Joe, who owns the club, was like, "Who the hell is this brunette? Who's this French chick?"
I know. I hopped on a call with Joe a few days later, and he's like, "Honest to God," I'm like, "Who's this French broad?"
I'm like, really? Like, my nose is pretty distinct. People can't tell it's me in a wig. And I had a couple people saying I saw she was wearing fishnets, and I thought, stop copying Carla. I'm like, oh.
It is Carla.
I feel it's obvious. It's really just me in a wig and lingerie.
Oh, my God.
Which was great. So
Your
wonderful.
shows.
Well, the second show especially.
Honest to
The
God,
first
the
show, I feel like,
shows-
sorry, whoever came to the first show, I feel bad because it was a great show.
It was a
but
great
I
show,
feel like I
but-
was just warming up.
You killed it, honestly. Well, both shows you killed, but the second show you killed it, and we're still getting messages, private messages from people explaining and extolling your virtues and explaining what a phenomenal time they had and how great it was, and people, it was an event for people, right? I mean,
Well, Michael Stewart Webb makes events. I mean, the venue is so beautiful.
Oh,
Joe
my
had
God.
this crazy, and by the way, it was not vegan, but it was like steak tartare and
crazy
oysters.
menu.
Like, I'm like, people were getting laid after that show.
Oh my God,
Like
true.
sexy food.
True.
And that's one of his specialties. So you're not just
Well, he's
going
a
to
chef,
some dank
right?
club. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
he's
chef.
a
So
chef.
people got extraordinary food, had a great time. And
people were buying new outfits for this, right? It was an event for people, and they just had the most amazing time.
And some more shout outs. Wendell Beaton, people loved
Oh,
the
yeah.
merch, who did
She's
such an
adorable.
extraordinary, and she was there with Lola, her daughter, and brought a big gang. And I want to give a shout out to two girls at an oven because I
Yes.
ordered some cookies for our VIP guests, and she was going to put my logo on it, but she put the doucheless vegan logo. She had
She
Dr.
did,
Zira
Dr.
souffle,
Zira.
and she brought us 2 packages of
vegan cookies.
They were delicious.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah, many thanks to Two Girls in a Stove.
2 girls in an oven.
Oven, yes. Oven, stove. Tomato, God, Kenny Rogers.
2 girls, 1 cup. No, that's not it, Michael. That's an entirely different thing on the web. It's on the dark net. 2 girls in an oven.
Forgive me,
is their
Karen.
handle. Jeez. And she was even good natured about the fact that I make Karen jokes. So
Yeah.
that was fun. But yeah, we had it's all a blur now, but
But we're doing it again.
yeah, so that was Reverse Mortgage Cowgirl.
Yes.
And then Michael's like, I think you've got another album in you. So in November, we're going to be back for 2 nights. This time we're going to spread it
Yeah,
over 2 nights.
2
'cause
nights.
It's too cuckoo
Yeah.
to do back-to-backs. I said, I'll do it if you get me 2 nights. And we're going to do my 3rd album within a year called Vanity Dare.
Yes, and can we just talk about who's photographing the cover of this album? Like this is clutch.
This is pretty wild. So years ago, when I first became a spokesperson for the World Animal Protection, we had a red collar campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where in places like Brazil, where there are stray dogs, they vaccinate the dogs and give them a red collar so that people, they're not frightened of them or kill them thinking that they're carrying disease. And at the time, my friend and makeup artist said, well, there's a new, he's super young, Cheyenne Escarnia. He's fairly new to LA, and so he took the pictures, which were extraordinary. Well, this guy has gone on to become
He's exploded
one of the best photographers in the world.
on the planet. Yeah.
Does so many photo shoots for so many different magazines, notably Variety. I mean, this weekend he's shooting the MLK family.
And who
just
can say
taking
that?
photographs
Yeah.
of my goodness. Well, he's very, he does so much for animals and for political causes. This guy is
He's the real deal.
substantial
Yeah, he's the
person
real
of
deal.
substance.
Absolutely. And, we had a call with him the other night, and he's, aside from all of these ridiculous accomplishments, stuff that at his age,
I know, because he's a kid. pretty young.
tip my hat to you,
Yeah.
for even accomplishing as much as you have in a short period of time. But he's a really amazing, kind human being.
Yeah,
know?
doesn't suffer fools gladly, and really his work is extraordinary. I mean, we're talking from political figures, as I said, Martin Luther King's family, to Lady Gaga, to John Legend.
Yes.
If you go on, I think I have it here, just in case you want to follow him on Insta.
socials.
It's Cheyenne Escarnia, and I hope I'm saying that right.
He'll call you if you're not.
No. Love you, Shy. Thank you. So he had been messaging me saying, let's do another shoot. So we got on the phone and said, all right, we won't tell them what it is. So
No,
I don't wanna
it
give
has to be a
away.
surprise.
I don't
Yeah.
want to give it away,
Has to be a
but
surprise.
I'm shaking like a chihuahua on meth too. Like I said, I don't like any of my picture taken at the best of times, and now I'm going to have like this big time photographer,
It's going to be amazing.
but I'm
It's going to be
excited for
amazing.
it.
Yes.
And,
And Reverse Mortgage Cowgirl will be dropping soon.
Yes.
Millen Curry Sharples.
again, we got the
Another
phenomenal
amazing
God,
human
he's a
being.
superhero.
He really is, and he's always at the top of his game. Like he
Can't ask for a
produces.
better editor or producer.
No,
or
I mean
executive
he
producer.
works with TVO Kids. He works with what is that show? 401.
Yeah, that's where all the crashes.
All the crashes.
It's like I think the highest rated show. It's crazy.
Not surprising knowing
Yeah.
Millen as we do. So not only an exceptionally gifted man, but he's also a mensch. He's an incredible human being too. And so he's producer for Reverse Mortgage Cowgirl, as he was with Pandepic.
Executive producer again, which is pretty great.
So great to have him on board. Super thrilled about that. So
And I'm very proud. I mean, I don't know because I'll have to hear it back, but I'm very proud of how it turned out too. So I think it was all new material.
yeah, it was a great
And
show.
I'm excited for this one.
Reverse Mortgage Cowgirl. Yeah.
It's very
It's gonna be
eclectic,
amazing.
subject matter. And of course, a lot of it, hence the title, is about life on the farm and
Yay.
the different year I had. And to that, I do want to say this while we're still in the same zip code, postal code, is that it's been so wonderful. And I know I'll be back and everything, but I was thinking the other day, I've been in deep grief since Mom left. And one of the reasons was because she was my soulmate. And there was such an ease. And I was thinking I'll never find that again with anyone. And I cannot believe that I've spent a year here. And might I also say 10 days without air conditioning. 10 days without air conditioning during a heat wave. And there was not a murder-suicide that happened. I mean, Michael, I have the same ease with you as I do my mother. And
Thank you.
I think God's very funny because he's made my two soulmates. One, my biological mother, and two, a flaming gay guy. Like with no hope of flipping him. I mean, I was trying. I came close to flipping Jesse Reynolds.
Yes,
of course,
he saw you
he
topless.
saw my boobs because I was changing into souffle, and he's like, "Nice, I think I will flip." But it's just been. I mean, what an adventure, and
honey.
how grateful and lucky. And I mean, I just won the lottery with you. So and I know it seems weird, but I mean, the fact that I have an ease with another human with you, the way I did with my mom, just it renews my hope for humankind.
For humanity, of course. Well, sweetheart, I mean, this has been the best year of my life, to be honest with you. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
well, it's true. And there's this ease for me as well. And I can't believe how quickly this year has flown by. And
Crazy.
And, I can't even think about Friday when you'll be hopping
I'm
on
not
a plane.
allowed to talk about it.
We're
You're just
not.
like, I said, honey, a week from now, you're like,
Yep, we're not talking about it. We're not discussing it because they get emotional. And the only thing that the only thing I can cling to is knowing that you'll be hopping right back on a plane soon after you've landed and dealt with these David Steinberg talks for your TV special and taking care of some business down there to come back here.
I will be back
Because you have just worked out a deal with Paquin Agency, who will now be representing you.
Yes. I'm so excited. They were my first choice.
There's going to be a ton of work up here, people.
I hope so.
You're going to be seeing more Carla Collins.
Can I say this is a funny story? So the air conditioning was not working, right? I believe at the time of our talk with Paquin, or I don't know if it was or not, but it was like really crazy hot. And it was a day or two before the shows. And we thought it was a phone call with Paquin. And imagine at the last minute, Michael's like, "Oh shit, it's a
They
Zoom
just
link."
sent a Zoom link.
So my hair, as always, could have filled the Staples Center.
Yes.
Like it was just huge. So I'm trying to, put on a little bit of makeup, and we go in front of your piano. We're like, oh, like the Bobbsey twins. We're both in the frame to have this Zoom call with these two agents I fell in love with, which is rare. Like, who can say that? But I just adore them.
Yeah.
And, you want your best foot forward. And Michael starts telling the story of the titty kitty, as you all know from our last show, that sometimes I save a kitten and put them in my chest so I can go on with my day. And I just remember thinking, this is not the opening I planned on, but
But it landed.
I had a kitten in my breasts when I went to a dinner party. And I'm like, and by the way, it was quite a wild dinner party. It was an eyes wide shut situation. This was not the weirdest thing that was happening that night. So we're talking and it's going really well. And, but there are just various cats coming into frame. And then at the end, Duke came in, licked my entire face. And I said, I'm glad you saw me with makeup. Now Duke's wearing it.
Oh, jeez.
It was just but they both had their dogs with them, so they understood. Thank God.
I know. We got to meet their dogs, and I gotta say, I love these two agents.
I do too. Yeah. So I'm really excited about everything happening, and so I'll be back.
You will
By the way,
be.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, also a vegan now.
He is. Yeah. I mean, he's like the poster child for what you can be leading this lifestyle, right?
I know.
He's jacked.
He's 100. He's jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think, he was at the time at Gold's every morning, Gold's Gym in Venice. So lots of great stuff happening. And yes, I will be returning for shows at Revival, for various things, for doing the Doucheless Vegan. Our love affair has just begun, so obviously you can't get rid of me. I like the fact that I was supposed to be here for 2 weeks and stayed a year.
No, I love
Literally.
that. I love that.
I mean, so be forewarned if I come over. Carla's coming for lunch. Oh, God. Well, I guess I should clean out the
Make
guest
a bed.
Me and 17 cats, Dr. Zero.
Oh, God.
A couple of chickens and a horse. So, so I'm having a heart because I'm like, oof, the animals. And Michael, what will I do? People are going to get sick of hearing about you in LA. And then Michael, we don't care. Here's what Michael did. Oh, I'm going to be intolerable.
My God.
But yeah, loved it and loved the farm. And I know.
Well, darling,
Today you're like, when you come back, I'm giving you a bigger room. And I'm like, look at him trying to seduce me back.
I know, it's true. The jig is up.
Exactly. Listen, I have to be around all cats. So I say, always look at me as though I've just caught them masturbating. I always have that combination of like startled and annoyed and you wish. And I love them. How weird is it? I've just taken on, I have no personality of my own. I become a vegan. I become a cat person. I'm like, I'm a farm girl now. Who knows? I got to be careful who I roll with in LA. I'll just be like,
yes, absolutely.
I'm a Scientologist now, Michael.
Oh,
nope, get back
over
here.
my dead body. The fortunate thing is that because you and I are so tight, we'll probably be on the phone 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
So
Get your advice with everything. So.
And I yours.
So thanks. Listen, we will continue doing this. It'll just be remote, like everything. So
until you
that
return.
different? Yes.
Yep.
Until my triumphant return.
Yay.
Return of the Jedi. And Michael does hope I return with a lightsaber. If only
Please.
I could, dude. If only I could.
Oh my God, I'm telling you. We'll work on that. Will you?
I will. So yeah, watch this space. We'll be back, and thanks for being patient. That we're like,
sorry.
We just do one every time there's an Olympics. Here we go. The Doucheless Vegan becomes like this really like limited series box set.
That's okay.
And speaking of series, we watched Hit and Run, and we highly recommend it because we always get people on Netflix.
Yes.
Wow,
it was
really good.
Oh my God, it was so good from beginning to end.
Just makes me want to be a spy again.
I know, so well written.
Yeah, this is well done. So if you have a chance, that's our latest.
An Israeli series, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, really brilliant.
Yep, loved it.
There we go. All right, well that was our big closer.
Thanks again to everyone who's sort of stuck it out through our hiatus.
Like your friend
hiatuses.
Karen.
Yes. Oh my God.
Guys, should I just stop looking for this show, or
she sent me a message.
I like
this
that we
morning.
make it like a G spot. It's tough to find.
I know, it's true. So Karen, whom I adore and have known since I was like 5 years old.
She's like your big sister.
She is, yeah. So she sent me a message today, and she's like, "Doucheless Vegan, is the season wrap now? Because I just want to know if I should stop looking for it."
And like a good white woman, I'm just assuming she's white. She gave you some passive aggressive love. I mean, maybe I just shouldn't spend hours looking for it anymore. I feel like my mom. I feel a chill. I feel my mom just came into the room. Absolutely. You know that's happening.
It's true.
No peeking. Don't look at my journal. It's a secret.
Oh my God, amazing.
That's what we were doing with the, are you going to do the dishes vegan? It's a secret. We can't tell you. Okay? It's a podcast. We don't want to win podcast awards. They just had them. A couple of friends won. And I was like,
Oh, did they?
Yes. House of Licks.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yes, they won for the best.
Oh,
They
wow,
do.
that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, they do a drag race. Oh, and I'm now forgetting the name of their podcast, but they won. Yeah. They
Oh,
do a
that's
thing with Drag Race. Yeah,
amazing.
Vicky
Oh,
Licks and Hillary Yaz and the gang.
amazing.
So shout out
So
to our drag
congratulations to
sisters.
them too.
Yes, very
Yeah,
cool.
Amazing people.
Yes, we did not win any awards because we have not been disciplined with the douches vegan, but we will be.
We will. Stay tuned for more episodes.
Okay.
So thanks again for sticking it out. Thanks again for all your generous support and encouragement and for all the show ideas. And you guys are phenomenal.
Yeah, subscribe, comment,
Yeah.
help the algorithm.
Exactly. We want to hear from you. We want to hear more
Algorithm.
and certain topics, and just let us know. And then, we shall keep scouring the universe for all kinds of vegan products. Maybe that's an assignment when you return to LA. You can let us know what's going on with Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I'm going to give you all the stuff so that we, so for the Americans listening.
Yeah, so we can hit
they
some
know
of
where to go
American
to.
friends. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
That'll be my homework.
Awesome.
That'll keep me out of prison. I'll be busy when I'm back in LA pining. When I'm in the fetal position, like rocking back and forth, naked in a room, chanting Zeppelin lyrics and asking Siri if my dad loved me. Oh, I've said too much. Hey, that's like a little insight into what's going to be happening to me in LA.
And on that rather neurotic note.
Yep. You're welcome. Don't you feel better about your life? Yeah, you do.
Oh, God.
Mwah. Love you.
Oh, thanks, everybody. Until next time.